Okay, we're going to show you about some of the features of the DVR. The right click of the mouse will bring up some menu sections. So you can see we've got one win, which is basically one window as we're looking now on a live view. We can choose channel 1, we could choose channel 2, 3, 4, depending on what cameras we've got fitted. The 4 window is what we call in the trade a quad screen. So we choose channels 1 to 4 and it gives us our quad. If we had 4 cameras fitted, we'd be able to see all 4 pictures. We could left click double tap on one, we'll get back to full screen. So again, right click, we've got other options on this menu. Some of them aren't applicable but are there anyway. The volume is if you have microphones and audio on the system. Record set is something that we touched on the wizard setup, which gives us our motion or our normal record for each camera, and our schedule if we wanted to set up different parameters for different days or times of the day. You might find that during the day you would like your camera to record all the time, but at night only on motion. This can be done through this setup. Okay. We've also got PTZ control. PTZ stands for pan, tilt and zoom. This is a fully functional camera that doesn't come with the package, but if you purchase separately can be fitted and integrated into this system. These are the controls for that camera. So obviously you've got your up and down pan, your left and right pan, your up and down tilt, your zoom, your iris control, in and out to allow light, your zoom in and out, various different features. You can set the speed at which the camera would pan and tilt. You can also set up some presets as well and actually set up a tour if you wanted to, with various different positions the camera would move to. And the tour, which in this case is called cruise, you would set up your cruise or your tour and then obviously set and get the camera to work. Going back to the right click menu, we've got image color. This is basically presets for every channel, every camera that you've got, so you can adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, sharpness. So if you've got a camera that maybe is in a very poorly lit area, you may want to increase the brightness, the contrast. Or if you had a camera that was maybe looking up at sunlight, a lot of the time you may want to decrease the brightness. This is fully up to you as the user to adjust as you see fit. The playback, which can be accessed via the right click or through the main menu, which we'll come to shortly, is the feature that you'd probably use quite a lot. So if there's been an incident, this is where you'd want to look back to see what happened on what day and obviously take a view of it. So on the top right corner you have your calendar. Every day that's marked red is days that are recorded on your hard drive. Obviously for demonstration purposes we've only got a short period of recording, but you can see that we've had it running yesterday and today, the 22nd. So if we were to go back to yesterday by left clicking on the 21st, our cameras are below 1, 2, 3, 4. We've already highlighted camera 1, and below the bottom tab you can see the numbers 0 to 24. So that's our 24-hour clock. You can notice that there's a couple of different colours on there, a green and a yellow. If I use the magnifying tab on the lower section, I can left click on this and I'm basically making the 24-hour clock zoom in, so I can easily see my time that I need to locate without straining my eyes. I grab the orange tag with a left click and hold and move it along, and you can see in the centre of the screen here around roughly 4 o'clock we've got a lot of information. So the green tab is where we've had the system set up just to record permanently, and then the yellow tabs there are where we've had motion detection. So If, for example, you had both set up as we showed you on the record schedule earlier, but you weren't sure exactly when the incident happened, it's more than likely that it happened when you can see the yellow coloured tabs, because that's when the camera's actually picked up movement within its area. So for example, I click on the yellow tab there, you'll see that it was us moving the camera around, which is simulating the camera picking up movement within an area. Okay, if I went to the green tab, clicked on it, the camera's obviously fixed and stationary, so there's no motion being simulated there. I'll try and get to the smaller part. So just by dragging the pointer along, you can change the times that it's picked up. If you're on motion, you'll see, there you go, you just caught a glimpse of somebody there. So this is how you can play back a specific camera, either looking at continuous record or your motion record. We'll come back shortly to how you can archive this footage onto a USB stick to replay later on. Okay, the last few parts of the right click menu are remote device. This we showed you earlier in the wizard setup for IP cameras, which obviously don't come with the package but can be added as we said earlier. And last but not least, the main menu. Okay, this will give you all the different icons for a more in-depth or advanced setup for more advanced users, so we'll touch on that shortly.